Hey everyone in Building Finance EDL 854. I am Coulter Scott. This is my Module 12 case study, the Budget Debacle. To summarize the case, the newly elected Foundation's president, Mr. Byerly, of the Byerdale Elementary School has been tasked to fundraise for the supplementary curriculum programs. Mr. Byerly is a new to the school, new parent to the school. Mr. Byerly brought an idea to the rest of the foundation, and everyone supported his idea for a raffle for cash fundraiser. Tickets were sold, and a drawing of the winning tickets were to be drawn at a big event held at the Byerdale Elementary, which happens to be the town's meeting center. On the night of the event, the sheriff arrived and arrested Mr. Byerly, and he was convicted of a misdemeanor and placed on probation. The legal issues within this case could be the district's fundraising policy may not allow or support this type of raffle. Before hosting the fundraiser event, Mr. Santos and Mr. Byerly should have taken a look at the district policies. The cash drawings may break state's gaming and gambling rules and regulations. Some of the ethical issues is the funding would be going to purchasing curriculum that does fall in within the goals and the guidelines of the district. The students should all have the same access to the curriculum. This would be an ethical thing, as everybody, depending on each school, should have the same access to it. Provide equity throughout all 6 schools when it comes to improving the curriculum, which is similar to the last one. We could also put that within the funding of it, of how much money each school is getting is also a little bit different in this case. The fundraiser was held in good faith. Money was raised to support a non-for-profit for supplementary programs. So being art, music, those sort of things within the classroom. So what's happening is overall is how should the Byerdale Elementary and the district handle the raffle for cash fundraiser that ends with the foundation's president escorted to the sheriff's office for booking. Facts of this case, first off, the people that are involved is Mr. Santos, who's the principal, Mr. Byerly, who is the foundation's president for Byerdale Elementary, new parent to the school, the foundation's board / foundation's members, Mr. Morley, who happens to be another elementary school's foundation president, who is also friends with Mr. Byerly and seems to be former competitors when it comes to things. School community / stakeholders, the students, fundraiser participants, the people that bought the tickets, teachers, and most of these teachers have been with the district for their entire careers. The sheriff's department, the unknown people that are involved in this would be the person that turned in the raffle into the sheriff. They kind of make it seem like maybe it could be Mr. Morley, but we don't know that. The place for the facts is it was all happened at Byerdale Elementary. Byerdale is one of 6 elementary schools within this district, located in the center of town. It can hold up to 600 students. I apologize. It is not holding up to, it is 600 students are currently there. The unknown facts about this in the place is we don't know what city the state is located in, because this could help us with deciding on maybe what laws they've broken or within their gaming commission stuff. How diverse the student and the community is. This could also come into play with all of this. Facts on the case with programs. Each elementary school is kindergarten through 6th grade. So they're really focusing on basic skills curriculum, and that is what the fundraising was for. Each elementary school has a parent representative that chairs the foundation. Supplementary curriculum programs are funded by these fundraisers led by the foundation. The review over everything was the incident created distrust within and around the school and the community. The reputation of Mr. Santos and Mr. Byerly was damaged when the local news ran a front page article on the event. Since the funds were going to students' curriculum, they and all the teachers have a stake in the final result in the situation. The Briardale Elementary Foundation was kind of ruined. School and district policies on fundraising need to be reviewed by the superintendent, account director, bookkeeper, and the Board of Education. Superintendent, the same people should also find a way to evenly divide out the funds as much as possible throughout the 6 elementary schools, instead of each school having its own plan. Options that could help rectify this debacle. Option 1 is allow the legal system to head up everything and take care of the situation, and they decide the fate for everybody. Option 2, meet with the school board and superintendent for assistance on resolving the situation, handle the situation internally, review policy, discuss with what happens funds that were raised. Option 3, meet with the higher-ups, the school board, superintendent, principal, district council, so lawyers, and have them be in contact with local authorities about the necessary steps to clear up the situation and how to proceed. And option 4, provide a narrative from the district to the school community and stakeholders describing the events that took place, and also within that have a public apology for the situation that happened. Consequences for each option. Option 1s would be Mr. Byerly would still have to face his misdemeanor charge, would have to relieve himself from his duties with the district. This could also have repercussions of Mr. Byerly's current job that he is in. We do not know what that is, but because it's a legal thing, there could be repercussions within there. Option 2, Principal Santos should receive some sort of punishment for his involvement. He did not follow policy and get approval of the fundraiser from the school board or superintendent. Could also be, even though we don't know what state it is in, could be possibly something State's Gaming Commission. Option 3, the local authorities may hand down more punishments to others that were involved, but may not be allowed to keep the funds that were raised. Option 4, this one I did not really see a whole lot of foreseeable consequences. Could be that people see maybe that you're trying to cover something up, possibly, for writing an apology letter or giving your facts about the case out. Evaluating each option, so the pros and cons of each one. Option 1, the pros, the district may not be held reliable since Mr. Byerly was not an employee of the district. He would have to pay restitution to the district and individuals that donated. Con, Mr. Byerly would no longer be able to be on the foundation committee. Possible loss of his own current job. The school may lose money from the foundation's funding. Option 2, the pro would be support the district and prevent a similar situation from happening again. Give more direction on the procedures and the policies for fundraising. Con, completion of the event may take a while. If the fundraiser guidelines being more strict, the ways to raise funds could be limited. Option 3 and 4. Pro would be to show good faith to the authorities that the event was for a good purpose. By writing a narrative about the situation will allow the district to save face a bit and write their side of the story, instead of just the front page article that was made. Cons, individuals may still be in trouble. Foundations and district's reputation could still be tarnished, depending on the end result overall. The best option I saw was option 3 and 4. The school district should allow the local authorities to assist them with coming up with a resolution to the fundraising event and a little bit of guidance moving forward. I do believe that option 3 could come into play a little, or option 2 could come into play a little bit, that the situation could be handled internally once they finish the discussion with the authorities. I don't think it needs to go as far, possibly, as they're making it within the case study. This would be all, this would have everybody sitting down and revising and adding to their policies. There still could be and probably should have some repercussions, but the school district should come up with an apology letter, informational letter to the school community and all their stakeholders and have it printed in the paper that had the front page article. Implementing this plan would be discuss with the authorities about the charges against Mr. Byerly. The raffle for cash had not made it to its final stage of drawing and giving the winner their money. Since the money had not been given, how can the issue be resolved? Then the second one would be meet with the superintendent and discuss about the raffle for cash in full detail about what is happening to this point. Then follow that up with the create guidelines and policies on a process of fundraising. So this could be the idea stage, the approval, getting approval, the follow through, so the actually going through, getting the money or how we're raising it, and the finalization, and kind of how we have a checks and balance at the end. This should be done by a committee and presented to the board and the superintendent for approval. Number 4 would be meet with all stakeholders in the community and let them know about these new policies and inform them important information that needs to be followed within these. So when we have people approach our school district with ideas for fundraisers, they kind of have our guidelines and know what we would like to do. 5 would be at the next fundraiser opportunity, make sure the newly placed policies are being followed and reviewed so we don't have this incident from happening again. My reflection on this assignment was I learned really a lot more about looking up with what we have in the state of Kansas when it comes to raffle for cash options within the schools. The state of Kansas has since it's for a non-for-profit, that we would be able to do a raffle for cash as long as it was no more than $25,000. And if we started to get to that point, we would have to notify the gaming commission and get a permit for something like that. I still say that even if you're not going to reach that threshold of 25,000, that is always better off to double check with them on the procedures and how they'll handle things, and just inform them that it is going on, so we don't have an incident like this case where somebody is kind of a whistleblower and talks about what could be happening, what's wrong, and get us in trouble later. So it's really, to be honest, it's one of those things that we learned to really be upfront and make sure we're following through on everything. It also made me look into my current school district's policy on fundraising. We try to lean away from this type of fundraiser with raffle for cash, but we have had some people do it, but they do put limits and they watch it very carefully. The other things I learned is just to follow the procedures and how tedious some of these procedures can be with each section, from getting an idea, finding the approval stage, and how long the approval may take. There's a lot of homework that needs to go in with some of that stuff. And then once you go through it, now we have to still follow the guidelines as we do the fundraiser. And then how do we finalize it? How do we wrap it up and still make it all legal with the bookkeepers, the state, and how much money we make, and all that sort of stuff. How this assignment will impact me as a future leader is a lot of what I just said. It really made me think as a leader and moving forward, how would I handle a situation if this were to arise? You really have, as a principal, you really have to, do a lot on your own. But as in everything, there's plenty of people out there for assistance. There's colleagues, there's other professionals at the same level as you. And then as a principal, you have your superintendent, you have your board of education, and you have and you have also a legal team. Most schools have a legal counsel that will be in and assist on this. So by going through this case study, was really able to think about all of that and how what information was being missed. And so if a situation like this were to occur, how would I be able to go through that process? And to wrap things up, this is my reference page.